My apologies for my hair being a little bit messed up, but in reality, I spent most of the day with my tinfoil hat on, and in reality, that's the entire purpose of this video. At the end of the video, I need your help. Leave a comment below and let me know, am I onto something? Or unfortunately, is my tinfoil hat a little bit too tight? Because we're gonna get into some murky, confusing waters here about what in the world is the government doing with the economy and the stock market and some job numbers, and are they intentionally hiding something? Because what I'll be covering in this video really hasn't happened that many times before, and if you ask me, just my own opinion, it's all a little bit suspect. So with messed up hair like this and an intro like that, you're probably wondering, what in the world am I talking about? And it's right here. Democrats head to Trump meeting as shutdown deadline nears. As I'm filming this, the meeting just got underway. Unlike in past showdowns over government funding, Democrats say their supporters want to see a fight, as in willing to shut the government down, and it's not a low odds type of a situation. Odds of a government shutdown rise to 70% in prediction markets. Now, to understand how big of a deal this is, and I want to let you know, this could either be very bearish or very bullish, as in, I don't know which way it's going to go. If I knew that, I wouldn't have to be filming this video. I'd be a rich billionaire on an island somewhere, but I can tell you this is going to create quite a bit of movement. S&P 500 closes higher as AI leader Nvidia rebounds, EA surges on takeovers. So they're not really talking about it much, but if you look at the overall market, we had a nice gap up today, got the downside gap fill in the S&P 500, but overall still looking pretty freaking bullish. Higher highs, higher lows, good momentum. I'll show you the option flow in a second. Similar situation in the Nasdaq, and please keep this in mind, we did not get the downside gap fill today, which is really gonna bug me. We gapped up, we did not trade all the way down, but overall, like the S&P 500, pretty freaking bullish. The Russell, lacking a little bit behind, but overall the bulls are clearly in control. So that's a look at the daily. If you want to drill into what happened today, this is what happens when you have a bunch of confusion. We open up really strong. We start to push, and then we kind of just crap all day, get the downside gap on the SPY, not on the Qs. The Russell crapped out from the start, and people are clearly turning to alternatives such as Bitcoin, and also keep that in mind. So even though the larger picture is still a bit bullish, intraday, people are like, what in the world is going on? Because remember, the market hates uncertainty, and you could really see that in the options flow today. We had a bit of strength, and then around 10:45, it just kind of crapped out. We saw that in the S&P 500. The Mag 7 was pretty much drunk all day. We went up, we went down, we went up, we went down. It was a roller coaster, and no one was having a good time. So that's kind of the overall context. That's the picture. But now let's get into a little bit of the strange stuff, a little bit of the conspiracy stuff. The remainder of the week is all about jobs. Jobs, 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 and more jobs. Tuesday, September the 30th, JOLT job openings. Wednesday, we're going to be getting the ADP non-farm employment change. Thursday, initial jobless claims. And Friday, and this is the big one, the unemployment rate and the non-farm payrolls. Now, if you've seen my show, if you've seen any of these update videos, if you've been trading for any amount of time, you know at the start of every month, we get the job numbers for the previous month. That is the normal mode of things. This is where the story takes a little bit of a strange turn. Labor Department won't release Friday's key jobs report and other data if the government shuts down. The Labor Department is preparing for what would amount to a news and data blackout should the U.S. government suspend operations. The department has several key reports upcoming that will provide important clues about the direction of the economy and inform Fed policymakers ahead of their next meeting in October, the month we're going into. And all of a sudden, one of the most important pieces of information that they have to take into consideration is just not gonna get released. And I want to be clear here, the chance of us not getting this data, that's not the fringe part. It's actually more likely than not we're not getting the data. According to Polymarket right now, 64% chance that the government will shut down. According to Kohrs, a 65% chance. That's already kind of likely. It's more of, are they letting getting things shut down so we don't get this information. Whatever it is, it's causing havoc to the dollar. If you've been looking at the dollar index, you can see it is going down, down, and down. That is tracked with DXY, and it's basically been puking ever since the start of the year. And right now, people are looking for alternatives, a safe place to kind of store their overall value. And you see Bitcoin starting to bounce back, putting in a nice higher low, and that's impressive. But really what's going to knock your socks off is gold absolutely skyrocketing to a new all-time high. And it's not the only one, so is silver. So right now, we're seeing a lot of traders and investors saying,
this is too crazy. We don't know what's going on. We're concerned about the dollar. Our government makes no sense. So let's go put our money in other assets that are really not going to be directly tried.
And all of a sudden, you have Bitcoin up, gold exploding, and silver ripping. In fact, if you look at silver year to date, up 60%. If you look at gold, it's up 46%. I mean, if you think of the overall market, the equity market, if you look at the SPY, if you look at the Qs, between 12 and 15, 16%. So it's not just that they're beating equities. You have these commodities, these metals, absolutely destroying it. And then don't forget, the dollar itself is just vomiting. So for those of you who are curious and you're wondering, okay, why are they saying they're going to let it shut down? Well, this is what's at least being reported. Democrats refuse to cave on healthcare before meeting with Trump on government shutdown. Congressional Democrats are holding the line on their healthcare demands as shutdown talks enter the final stretch before the funding deadline. So is it really a healthcare issue? Is it a jobs issue? Is it a both issue? And like I said, I've been spending a lot of my time today, and hey, albeit maybe my tinfoil hat was on a little bit too tight, but I thought about this, and if you ask me, the timing's all a little bit suspect, which is exactly why I'm turning it to you to get your help, and I want to get your thoughts below. Is it just a crazy coincidence, or do you think something a little funny is going on with these job numbers? Just remember, if you're day trading, scalp trading, swing trading, or even investing, or maybe you just like to pay attention to the overall market, if this happens, the government will officially shut down Wednesday morning. Basically, as soon as we get to October, that's when the shutdown will happen. If that happens, probably no bueno for the market because everyone's going to say, what in the world is going on? However, if we're able to hit a resolution before then the market's going to love it and we're all going to collectively breathe a sigh of relief and we're going to remove that uncertainty. And generally, at least in the past when this has happened, the market continues pushing higher and higher and higher. So do I know which way it's going to go? No, because I have no idea what these politicians are going to do. But I can tell you, if you can get on the right side of the next trend, it's most likely going to be a pretty solid money-making opportunity. Anyway, I want to get your thoughts in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I appreciate the good vibes. I'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.